What's going on, everybody? Hope everybody's having a great day. It is Monday, and it's Jay Williams, Let's Live Life. Shout out to him. He doesn't know me, but I watch his videos forever. He would say Monday, Monday, Monday. I hope Jay's doing well, by the way. Haven't seen any videos in a long time. Haven't been looking out of my algorithm, but man, good dude. I liked him a lot, for whatever that's worth. But anyways, it's time for a video. Did one last week, kind of introduction to my 1 year on eBay and reselling. So this time we're going to get back into some crazy stuff. Sorry, my sunglasses are swinging in the wind. We'll get into some different topics here. Shout out to my buddy Jake, J-Rod Flips, the host of First Class Treasures. Sorry, I'm trying to avoid this ringing. So anyways, but shout out to him. Had a conversation today. Super good dude. If you're not following him, go follow, like, and subscribe. Great teacher, really good human, as far as I know. No, it really is. Hopefully we get together sometime and do some sort of collaboration. I'm just following him, listening to his advice. But shout out to all the resellers out there. If I didn't shout you out, I know. Shout out to Jax, my buddy, Jax Clothing. Awesome human. We have so many. Little Buddha, Julesy, PBD, WSC, CW, Texas Flipper. I'm going to leave somebody out. They're going to be mad and it's crazy. Checkerboard, all these people, Carter's, Retro. I could go on and on and on. Haha Johnson, Ian Johnson, Ike, my new buddy, one of my favorites, had a great show today. I go on and on. If I forgot you, I'll get you in the next one. You know, I'm not important. You know, you'll forget me too. But anyways, these are resellers on the district marketplace. Go check out First Class Treasures, Dibdit Threads. Those are the ones I frequent. There's a lot more to Crooked Spine, Craigslist Hunter. What's WSC's? I'm gonna forget right now, but I'm sorry. I'll catch it on the next one. You know, I'm kind of shaky with my memory. Probably got hit in the head too many times. Too much hockey. But I hope everyone's having a good day. Enough with the intros. I want to talk about what's going on with the eBay store. I was going to sit down and show you all the sales. I'm not there yet. I'm trying to set up my computer and everything, get everything hooked up. It's a slow process, but I will get it here in the next week or two. Hopefully it'll be rad. But things have been going really well. I got disciplined last week and really got to my listings. I slacked up. No, I didn't yesterday. The day before I did. But man, my sales started picking up. So it is a real thing, man. Stay disciplined. For those of you that don't know, if you were on eBay or sites like that, particularly eBay, your consistency matters. It helps with the algorithm of sales. You work for eBay. You are essentially an employee. And the more you do, the more you show up, the more you get promoted. They'll put your listings up, especially if your titles are good, your pictures are good. Take your time. I said it in the last video, I believe, that it's very, very important that quality over quantity. You want to make sure you've got everything right. And take it from me, I am a go guy, kind of scatterbrained. And some of my listings, when I go back to fix them or revise them, all of a sudden that item sells because I did the correct thing. And I have had returns before, like for instance, I had a Tom Brady. I had two cards, both of them PSA graded. One was a 10, one was a 9. I sold the 10, and then I copied that listing for the 9. Well, I didn't pay attention to the title. The title says PSA 10. So here I have a Tom Brady PSA 9 listed as a PSA 10 in an auction. Well, I had several people that deal with cards. They're like, hey, dude, this is a PSA 9. And it's not a good thing, especially if it's going and you got to revise it or end the listing. It's not a good thing. All because I'm just in a hurry to list copy and paste. So take some advice from the Rad Picker. Excuse me. That pay attention to your listings, look the title over, proofread, which I'm not good at. If you ever seen me in text or live chat, you know, it's hard to read sometimes because I'm a little bit too quick to hit send. So anyways, a little advice for you. But other than that, the eBay store is going good. I'm somewhere around 500 items, and I said this before, but you know, I had listed up there, I was pushing 1,000 at one point, I'm pretty certain. But I delisted a ton, and I sold a lot in other marketplaces, so that kind of took me down. But I delisted a ton of stuff that I thought was slow sell-through rate or was kind of dragging my store down. And again, on the last video, I said, I kind of regret doing that. I should have really just, you know, run a sale, improve my listings, my titles, my pictures, and let that stuff ride. Because I had a yard sale, it's been well documented, for 3 days this past weekend, and not everything sells. Like, I sold a ton of stuff, but still it looked like I didn't move anything. I mean, I still have put all that stuff away, so you might as well have it listed and cross-listed, something that I've just now started getting into, which is crazy. I learned the hard way. For those of you who don't know, I just got a thermal printer. I've been into this almost a year, pretty steady, at least 10 months, really hard, and have been cutting out, printing my labels on loose leaf paper, on what's that, 9x11 paper, and cutting them out and using clear tape to ship labels. And it's not that big a deal until you get into 20 boxes, you know, to ship out 20 items. Man, I cannot wait to get this all up and running. It's still sitting there. I've ordered a computer monitor and a keyboard because I ordered a computer in separate components because I like to do things the difficult way. So I can't wait to have all this set up and just speed up the process. It is a big deal. All the pro resellers that have been doing this for years and years, shout out Kevin, the Commonwealth Picker, and his channel, like, they'll tell you, you get a hold of any of these guys, these real, you know, long-time resellers, and they'll tell you it's a game changer. Do it, don't wait. By the way, shout out to Rod, Picking and Punching, was on his live show today, and I had heard that he wrestled, but I was thinking, like, you know, that local stuff we got in Tennessee, you know, like at the Armory or whatever. But it turns out he was legit, like, on that trajectory of big time, the real deal. And it was interesting because I just asked a question in his live, and he started telling stories, and it was like, I was like, oh man, wasn't even paying attention to what he was selling, which maybe isn't a good thing for live selling, but I was really intrigued with his stories. Really cool. So shout out to him. Good dude. Seems like a really good dude. Like to meet him one day. But anyway, shout out to him. Sidebar, I'm name dropping. That's what I'm doing. I'm name dropping. I don't care. Love it, list it, or hate it, or however that goes. Take it or leave it. That's how we do. But anyways, back to the eBay stuff. The eBay store is going really good, and it's exciting. Things I've purchased. You got to understand in this game that it is the long game. Yes, you want fast sell-through items, but it's not always the case. If you get a good deal on something, in my opinion, like I got stuff for $1, like car parts, like brand new car parts, like a motor for a window or an oil separator for $1. These things sell for $40 to $100. It's worth it to put it on a shelf and wait. Even if it's 8 months, that's such a good profit margin. If you know anything about business, margin is everything. Now you also got to understand storage is a lot of it. Storage and shipping and things like that. So there's a lot to take into account. But overall, if you give me a box that I can put on a shelf, I'll take it for $1, especially with that kind of profit margin. So those things are going well. eBay's going really well. I'm really interested because I've got into the clothing, which I said in my last video, the first video, that when I started, I got some clothes and then went fast, and I haven't touched clothes up until I got on the district.net marketplace. And I got on dibbed at threads. Well, I got into the clothing again, and I realized I have a lot of, good threads, good high sell-through rate items. And I started listing that stuff, and it's easier to ship. So it's not necessarily as fun to me or interesting. I hate listing them. I've got to improve my pictures. You need to set your process up for what you're selling, and I don't have that set up yet for that process the way I'd like to. Right now I've got them on a hanger, and so stuff sells, but it's not as professional as like you expect. You're in business. You're not just selling stuff like it's a yard sale. You need to present it, make it presentable. If you're trying to get the top dollar out of a used item, or a new item for that matter, it needs to be presented like you would want to see it, something to draw your eye. Why would I purchase this when I got one over here that looks better? If that makes sense. It's simple business and marketing. So anyways, I got to get that process figured out, ironed out. But that's all part of this, getting my storage units and my office space and all that kind of combined to one or two. Right now I have too many units running around. It's unorganized. That's a weakness of mine. I have no problem being vulnerable and telling you the things I struggle with, because you may too. It may help you out. A lot of people feel the need to protect some sort of image, and to me, this just my opinion, the people I watch that I'm drawn to are the people that are real, are vulnerable, that you can relate to. I'm not trying to come up with some false image. I joke around a lot. I will definitely do some sort of skit jokes or whatever. I'm not opposed to any of that, but I'm not trying to build some false facade. It's just telling the real journey here, and hopefully it helps you out. And anything that you can do to help me, I'm certainly appreciative of. I've been helped a lot in my life by friends, family, and strangers. That's what I said the other day. The coolest part about the reselling community is, man, I run into very, very few. I mean, 2 out of thousands, it seems like, or at least several hundred that I know that kind of rub me the wrong way. And that just may be just in one little moment. They may be spectacular people, just maybe it just miscommunication or misreading. That happens. I certainly don't hold that against any of those folks. But anyway, for the most part, man, it's so fun. So much fun. Mama Bear, Violet, I shout out to you guys. Funny. It's so wild. We get in on the district. It doesn't matter what marketplace. You run into some of the same people. And Jot the Dot, shout out. Funny people. Love it. It's so much fun. And I always sometimes I'm like, maybe I'm going a little too far. And I don't mean being dark or grotesque. I just mean maybe they don't get your sense of humor. My wife says that often. She's like, Scott, they don't understand what you're saying, because everything to me is some sort of movie clip or regurgitated humor. But that's how I am. But I find a lot of the people have the same sense of humor, and I love that. So shout out to them. Shout out to Iowa Farmer. He calls me out all the time. He asks me, Scott, what are you an expert at? And I said, nothing. I know a little bit, just a hair above average about everything. Just a hair above average. And that's not a brag. That's what I am. I may repeat myself too much, but that's the truth. So I laugh. But back to the reselling. If you know me, I sidebar a lot. But back to the reselling. So far, I think you have to diversify, just like anything. I think it'd be very, very hard to just hit one thing, which if you're niche down, like clothing, you could just hit that and just, grow your business slowly. Don't quit your job. But I like to sell everything. That's what, back to the clothing. What interests me is the toys I grew up with. I love any sort of antique that reminds me of my childhood or my grandmother or something, just, brings back those good feelings of your past. I love pocket knives and stuff like that. But clothing is easy to ship. and I love easy shipping. I joked the other day, I sold WS&C, one of those Guitar Hero guitars, and sold it cheap. I was into it cheap, and I didn't mind that, but I didn't consider the shipping. And when you're on these live platforms, you set up your shipping. Well, I hadn't planned on selling that. I just kind of go off the cuff, and if I see something laying there, and that's, you know, kind of the way the show's going, I shuck and jive. You know, I'm not Mr. Organized going through my list. I'm scatterbrained and waiting for somebody to say, hey, I want this. Well, I sold that guitar. Well, I had to make a box for it, and it costs a fortune to ship, so I lost on that. So you got to keep in mind shipping, you know, what you're doing shipping, because you can lose your butt. I remember when I started, I copied, because on eBay, you can take a picture of something, and it'll say how many are listed. Then you can filter down to sold, and you can find one, especially with the right serial number or model number. And I had one of those old receivers. Well, I copied this person's listing, and you can do that. It says sell one like this. So you're essentially taking that exact ad and making it yours, and it puts it under your category. But if you don't proofread it, not everybody's perfect like me. You make mistakes. Well, that person didn't have the right shipping on it, and to no fault of theirs, I copied it and didn't proofread it. So I sell my first receiver for like 48 bucks, and I bought it for $5, so I'm excited. There's big profit. Well, it cost me 40 something to ship it because I didn't have it correct. So I basically just gave that thing away, just shipped that thing off, and I learned a lesson there to make sure your shipping's right. You need to. I think the advice came. It was either Kevin and Jake, in one of their videos. Sorry, I lost my train of thought here because it stopped here looking at traffic. That you shouldn't do any flat rate shipping until you're about 300 to 500 items deep. And I think around the 500 mark is when you get a real feel. I would say you can at 300, but I still made mistakes after that. But I'm a slow learner, so y'all may be faster. You can learn it in 100 if you really pay attention. But you get that feel for what something costs. And it's very important to get that under your belt. It's so funny. I said this before, but when you watch these videos, and I would encourage you, it's a learning process. Man, almost everything they say happens. I mean, because it's not really rocket science. It's experience. It's retail. I mean, yeah, there's different items, but I always often said, like, I was in the construction industry and I'm a carpenter. Well, once you can frame a house and you understand carpentry to a journeyman level or beyond, almost anything else is easy, because like tile, it's still just a shape, a geometrical shape, and maybe a different material, but there's some way to cut it and there's some way to fasten it. I feel the same way about reselling. There may be different products, different things to learn, you know, different nuances, but still you're selling a product to a customer, you're shipping a product, and you're dealing with transactions. So it's really all the same. There's just different nuances. So that being said, it's been a great week. I'm not going to prolong this video because I just want to give you a touch. I actually just want to touch base with you on what's went on this week, how it's went. I had the yard sale. That went great. Got rid of some stuff. I'm going to the storage unit now to drop some of this stuff off. I did drop a short about a mistake I made on a antique scale that was worth money, but moving that thing around, it wasn't worth it, so I left it at the dump. So check that out on my YouTube. Check me out on Instagram, YouTube, on Facebook. Like, follow, and subscribe, please. And I appreciate anyone that does. There'll be more content. I'm going to try to post a video twice a week. They will get better and better. We will add some editing in here, better thumbnails, and all of the above. But bear with me as I learn. Like I said, I'm a slow learner, but once I learn it, I got it and I don't forget it. Just like the Johan car J-Ride. If you don't know anything about that, check the videos out. You'll figure it out. Do your homework. Keep picking. Be kind. Hold a door for somebody. Love on somebody. Man, you don't know what people are going through in this earth. I need to be reminded of it myself. I had an instance the other day where I lost it and I had to eat my pride and apologize because I was in the wrong. Hopefully I will always have that sensitivity to apologize if I'm wrong. If not, what are we doing? You know, we got to grow up sometime. So love on people, be a good friend, be a good teammate, be a good family member, do what you can. Keep picking, stay rad, and we'll see you next time. I'm out.